Hello guys and welcome back to the Euro Roundup with me and Pat, where we take a look at the highs and lows from across the continent at the weekend. Now this weekend was an absolute feast, wasn't it, Patrice? We had the FA Cup, we had giant killings, and we had title races coming and going. But we're going to start with you, the people, because we love you and we love it when you tweet us. And I'm going to start with George Skingley, who thinks Borussia Mönchengladbach, Pato, coming from 2-0 down at Bayer, was his highlight of the weekend.
Well, we may well touch on that game a little bit later on. My one comes from Gavin McGuinness, who thinks the losers are FIFA because they denied Barca going top and that could cost them the title. Mate, Real Madrid have a game in hand anyway. FIFA don't control referees, so they had nothing to do with Neymar's disallowed goal. You've had a nightmare.
Gavin, if we think you're being a little bit paranoid, my friend, and last but not least, Anastasia Sarkos thinks Alaba's glorious free kick against Bremen was her highlight of the weekend. It was well and truly marvellous. Now let's go into our highlights and lowlights, Pat, because my highlight, fairly obvious, the mighty Celtic, the Hoops, go marching on. That's 27 domestic games unbeaten. They surpassed, the Lisbon Lion record from 1967 when that team, the all-conquering Lisbon Lions, who won the European Cup, they actually won 4 trophies that year, went 26 games unbeaten. So well done to Brendan Rodgers. As I said on Twitter, it's less about the individual victories and more about setting the bar that little bit higher, creating a culture that wants to not just win at Celtic, but win things better.
Yeah, well, they do need some good players because they haven't had any for a while. And Moussa Dembele looks like he's going to be one of them. Baller. It's a pity that Paddy Roberts is going to go back to Man City, to be honest. Yeah. My low light comes from @LRC Bruning. He wants to talk about Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane missed a decisive penalty as Senegal exited the Africa Cup of Nations. They were pre-tournament favourites, but they're out.
Mate, Sadio indeed. Huh? Jumping back into our normal format, let's go with our first winners of the weekend. It's Manchester United, who beat Wigan 4-0 in the FA Cup. And Mourinho's quest to get a cup double continues, doesn't it, Pat?
Yeah, well, it was a pretty dull game, to be honest. You know, in the first half, United were kind of outplayed by Wigan. Wigan played some lovely football, though Henrik Mkhitaryan missed a golden opportunity. They only went in 1-0 up at the break thanks to a Route 1 goal from Marouane Fellaini. It was pretty dull. Neither Rooney nor Will Grigg, who is apparently an incredible player, mustered a single shot in the game. But going into this match, United had history on their side. 28-1 is the aggregate scoreline over their last 8 games against Wigan. So they do like to play the local rivals. But actually, I thought Warren Joyce's side, like I say, they're pretty solid. Until one man stepped up, and that was Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Oh, the Schwein.
He scored and assisted in this game, which means he was involved in as many goals in this one night as he had been in his previous 33 matches for Man United.
Quality.
Got a goal, an assist, 103 accurate passes, 131 touches, 3 tackles, 3 interceptions. This was an all-round midfield performance. But both sides lost possession more than 20 times in this game, so quality was seriously low. But now United remain in the tournament, along with Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool have already exited, Man City. So it's looking like it could be quite an interesting last few rounds of the Cup, whereas in previous years, we've seen some of the big teams go out a bit early.
So has attacking football returned to Old Trafford finally under the special one, Pato? Because let me tell you, it's an extremely interesting stat. This was the 6th time they've scored 4 or more goals under Jose, and it took Louis van Gaal 103 times to reach the same accolade. Ooh, exciting times to be a Red Devil. And our man amidst the goals, he got 2 assists, was Anthony Martial as well. He actually started the game pretty central and was pretty ineffective during the first half, wasn't he? He actually had 1 shot all game, and that came in the 80th minute. He also had a goal disallowed in the second half. All this after he moved out wide. Now, he's been involved in 9 goals in his last 8 FA Cup games. That's 3 goals and 6 assists. So Anthony Martial, the man from France, he loves a cup game. So surely he should think about, solidifying his place out in that wide left berth rather than competing with Zlatan Ibrahimovic for a place down the middle, with it well publicised that he's intent on playing down the middle, the young Frenchman. Probably won't happen for the next 18 months. But who will win the FA Cup, guys? Let us know in the comments below.
First up in the losers category are Olympique Lyonnais, and this is a suggestion from @John M.
Certainly is. Thank you very much, John. Now, they lost 2-1 to Lille, while PSG and Monaco actually drew. So if Lyon had won this game, they'd only been 6 points behind the Parisians with a game in hand. So that represents a huge opportunity lost. Now, Lille were outplayed for large periods of this game. They only had 32% possession and were also edged on shots. Lyon had 13 to Lille's 9, and Lyon also had 6 on target to Lille's 4. But a double from 22-year-old former Lyon trainee, that's got to hurt Yacine Benzema, condemn Les Gones to their 8th defeat of the season. How are they in 4th when they've lost 8 times, Pato?
Well, one reason might be because they keep getting penalties. Now, both sides had a penalty in this game, but Lyon have had 10 in Ligue 1 this season. That's unbelievable. No other team has had more penalties in Europe's top 5 leagues this campaign. They've also hit the woodwork 12 times. So you could say they're unlucky in that regard, but it's not really luck, is it? It's just stupid, just be more accurate. But that's more than any other French team. Memphis Depay, first start for the club, made his debut in the last 10 minutes against Marseille the other day. It's incredible statistics, let me tell you these numbers. 0 key passes, 1 shot. Ooh. So back in form. But did complete 3 dribbles, I believe. So he is potentially starting to show that he's good, maybe? I don't know, who cares? Anyway, the problem is really on the defensive end. Lyon have scored 40 goals this season. By comparison, Nice have only got 38 and PSG have got 42. So Lyon are actually perfectly fine on the attacking end. The problem is in defence. They've conceded 25, whereas Nice have conceded just 15. Oof. So they need to really shore up that back line if they want to compete for the Champions League places. But how high can they finish? Can they catch PSG? And who is going to take home the trophy? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Our next winners are Los Blancos. Real Madrid overcame a hard-to-beat Real Sociedad side 3-0, didn't they, Patrice?
Yes, now Sociedad are 5th in La Liga. And though this match was at the Bernabeu, they actually did limit Real Madrid. Real Madrid had just 7 shots in this game. Put it in context, they've averaged nearly 18 shots a game in La Liga this season. So Sociedad did really limit them, especially as Sociedad themselves had 9 shots. So actually, they almost looked more potent than Los Blancos. Anyway, Alvaro Morata got the 3rd goal in this game after Kovacic and Ronaldo had given a 2-goal lead. He's scored more goals as a substitute than any other La Liga player this season. And Kovacic is starting to come into form in that midfield spot. He scored and assisted for the first time in one game in a Madrid shirt. And Sociedad, they actually outpassed Madrid. They had 531 passes to Madrid's 407.
Not often that happens, is it?
They couldn't actually make much out of it. Their midfield 3 lost the ball 12 times, which is double the total of the entire Madrid squad. So it's not just about having possession, it's about taking care of it when you've got it.
Definitely. And one man who does take care of business, Pato, is Cristiano Ronaldo. He now has 79 La Liga assists. That is 25 more assists than any other Real Madrid player since his debut. People call him greedy. He is greedy. But that, my friend, is the support you're looking for in that front 3. Obviously, didn't help that Inigo Martinez was sent off after 74 minutes, after which Morata added that 3rd on the counter-attack. And get this, Pato, you talk about goals. Real Madrid have had 17 different goal scorers in the league this season. Goals are coming from everywhere. It's mental. It's a great result, considering that Sevilla lost, obviously. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later. And Barca drew. We're not going to talk about that at all. That's boring. And they're now 4 points clear with 1 game in hand. And a great way to rebound after being dumped out of the Copa del Rey by John Cadetti's Celta Vigo, isn't it, mate?
Yes, indeed. Well done, Real Madrid. But are they going to win the league? Let us know in the poll right up there.
I mean, yeah, they are.
Yeah. We told you we'd come back to Borussia Mönchengladbach and Bayer Leverkusen, and we have, because we keep our promises here at Eurofootball Daily. Leverkusen are in our losers. Chris Hamill, tell me why.
It's because they lost, mate. It's a massive prerequisite for being in our losers section. They lost 3-2 after being 2-0 up against Gladbach. Now, Leverkusen, let's talk about their goal scorers a little bit, Pato. Because Hernandez, he's been touted for a move this January, hasn't he? He scored his first goal in 782 minutes because stats, that's roughly 11 games. And Jonathan Tah got his first ever goal in the Bundesliga, but it wasn't a day for celebrations. The Stindl and Raphael secured 3 vital points for Borussia Mönchengladbach, and they probably had the better of the chances. Leverkusen had 13 shots, Gladbach had 12, But Gladbach had 7 on target to Leverkusen's 4. So maybe justice was done. What do you think?
Well, it's not that surprising because Leverkusen haven't been in great form, are they? They're now down in 9th, and Gladbach have climbed up to 13th. I believe they're only 4 points behind Bayer Leverkusen now. So it's a little bit disappointing for them. They hadn't lost from 2 goals up since 2008. So it was a rough weekend for Roger Schmidt. Now, he's tried to give his squad a boost with the signing of Genk's Jamaican winger Leon Bailey for a fee thought to be in the region of about 15 million euros. But the kid's 19, and so you don't expect him to be able to take them to the Champions League places in his very first half season. If they miss out on European football this year, then Schmidt might be in a little bit of trouble. As good a coach as we think he is, we'll have to wait and see.
Might be an exodus of players. They've got some top players, the likes of Julian Brandt.
Yeah, Benjamin Hendricks, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who will leave this summer. Will they be able to keep hold of their stars? Let us know. Comments, Twitter, you know the drill.
Our final winners takes us to the north of Italy. It is Inter Milan who beat Pescara, who are rooted at the bottom of Serie A, 3-0 Pato. Tell me a little bit more, please.
Well, it's Inter's 7th league win on the bounce, and they're 9th in all competitions. And what actually puts them in our winners category isn't a simple 3-0 win. It's the fact that Milan, Lazio, and Napoli all dropped points. So Inter are now just 3 points off Napoli in 3rd place, which is pretty impressive given their ropey start to the season. Now, they had 17 shots to Pescara's 10. This was a dominant performance. Pescara thought that they were trying to get rid of Inter's main threat by doubling up on Mauro Icardi, but that actually led to the first goal. Brozovic crossed it in, and the right-back D'Ambrosio was able to ghost in and convert at the far post. Now, they could have gone behind in 22 minutes. Handanovic made a mistake, but he got better as the game went on, ended up making 4 important saves. And the guy I'd like to highlight is Gagliardini. Now, he was pretty good in this game. 5 challenges, 62 completed passes. But the real benefit of Gagliardini, who they've spent 17 million on,
not to be sniffed at,
is what he enabled João Mario to do. João Mario was able to get forward, he scored, and he got 5 key passes in this game. That is a really, really high number. And he was their real attacking impetus. So this was an excellent signing and an excellent performance.
It really was. And how else have they changed under Pioli Pato, I hear you ask? Well, he told Football Italia this week that he's just managed to convince certain individuals, mentioning no names, to put themselves second and the team first. So basically, just good man management. Tactically, he's been far more rigid too, hasn't he? He's stuck to that 4-2-3-1 system, while Frank de Boer, he sort of toyed between the 4-3-3. He was getting there towards the end, wasn't he, in that 4-2-3-1, playing João Mario next to Medel. But they've progressed from that. Obviously, as you say, Gagliardini, vital to that system. He's played next to Kondogbia, he's played next to Brozovic, and he's proved the perfect foil for both. He's just a very disciplined, all-round team player. And he seems to be getting the best out of Brozovic, who De Boer effectively throws out of the team. Let me read you some stats of Brozovic's from this game. He's probably man of the match. I mean, 8 tackles, 3 dribbles. He had 11% of his side's possession. The next closest was Miranda on 6. So everything Inter did in this game went through Brozovic. Now, next week, they have a huge game. They face Lazio in the Coppa Italia, and they've got Juventus in Serie A as well after that. So it's a huge, huge couple of weeks for them, guys. Let us know your match predictions in the comments below. Will Inter triumph? Tell you what, if you guess either of the game's matches, score-wise and scorer-wise correctly, Pato will send you a naked Snapchat. Scorecast, naked Snapchat. Get him in.
Our final losers are Sevilla. Yes, Chama Rugamana, you have got your wish. They found their way into our losers category. Well done.
They certainly did. George Sampaoli's men were never destined to win this game, were they? After Nico Parejo got sent off after 111 seconds. That's La Liga's fastest red card in 13 years. So, well done, Nico. And just to add insult to your injury part, it was Jose Antonio Reyes, a Sevilla old boy, who converted the subsequent penalty. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the penalty. We both watched the highlights this morning. What did you think after multiple viewings? Because Moreno's bought it, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's just put a hand on his shoulder and the forward's gone down. I mean, the thing is, if the ref thinks there's been a foul, he has to give a red card. It's denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity. But there's no foul. I don't know how he's thought there's been a foul. But look, you know, we've been talking about this recently. If forwards don't go down, even when they're fouled, they don't get penalties. And when people go down, even when they're not fouled, they do. That's why there's so much diving in the game. Referees need to sort it out, mate. But look, anyway, Sevilla did manage to wipe that lead out 15 minutes later. A lovely move, some combination play between Nasri and particularly Vázquez. A beautiful pass from Vázquez into Nasri, and he was able to square for Jovetic to score yet another goal. Now, Nasri has now been involved in 4 goals in 4 appearances, with 3 strikes himself and 1 assist. The man is on fire. But actually, the guy who was really, really impressive in this game was Marc Navarro. He scored and assisted from his right-back berth for Espanyol as they ran out 3-1 winners. The cross he put in for the Moreno header on 70 minutes, absolutely delightful, mate. Quique Sanchez Flores, what a happy man. He'll be popping an extra Vicodin tonight. They're now up to 9th place. They're on 29 points. Sevilla are falling away from Real Madrid. So good week for Quique Sanchez Flores, bad week for Jorge Sampaoli.
So that was this week's Euro Roundup, guys. Have we missed anyone out? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out the weekend's episode of Stat Wars, where Chris Hamill and I go head to head. There's an ice bucket challenge. It's horrible.
It is. So yeah, subscribe.
Oh yeah, bye.
Bye.